Alright, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Showtime from Showtime Shredded Fitness over here. Size, growth, get big. Okay, talk about big. How about a big apology from yours truly to anybody who took offense to a word that got blown out of context. Okay, and I'm going to go into greater detail of this after the smaller apology, because I'm not really apologizing to any one person. I'm apologizing basically to all of my Democratic friends who probably got pissed off about the comment about the Democrats storing the KKK. Did they do this? I don't fucking know. Okay, I just like to stir the pot a little bit, and I knew that comment was gonna create some controversy, or at least a very interesting debate or interesting little conversation. And I was hoping it didn't blow up into a war, and it didn't. And then as far as not getting it back to everybody, I'm sorry about that. I had a bad day. Actually, it was a really good day until that happened, and I responded to a couple of people, and then I had a nice little explanation to this gal who says, there's all this, he said, she said, this party versus that party, and this and that and the other thing. What are you gonna do about it? Well, I had a great solution, but I will go into detail on this, and bada bing, bada boom, kicks me off somehow. I tossed the phone down, and I cursed it out about 20 times. I paced the room, and then I just said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to watch Nurse Jackie and just to hell with it. I'm done with Facebook stuff for today. So, but I do want to apologize for the fact that I threw out something like it was true with no proof, right? I got no proof that the Democrats started the KKK. Did they not? I hope not. 5,000 years ago, hopefully, if there were a lot of racists in the Democratic Party, hopefully that's changed, right? This is hot as hell. This is a brand new sweatsuit. Came in the mail today. I'm happy with it. It's got no brand name on it, but of course what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put on the back of this thing here, either Showtime or Showtime Shredded Fitness, or Get Showtime Shredded, or something along those lines, right? So basically that's what I was getting at. I apologize to anybody who took offense to me posting the Democrats started the KKK without any solid proof. Number one. Number two, don't get too upset about people throwing out accusations, allegations, and then get all upset saying, do your research and this, that, and the other thing. Reason why is because attitude reflects leadership. Well, the Democrats do. Fucking blame the Republicans for everything. Accuse them of all kinds of shit, from petty shit to heinous crimes, right? No proof. Republicans do that to Democrats. Democrats do it to Republican. It's a shit show. There's very little integrity in politics, and this pisses me off, okay? Should be like bodybuilding, a lot of integrity in bodybuilding. A lot of integrity, a lot of character with the majority of athletes who are very serious, especially the champions. There are very few champions in bodybuilding throughout history, and there are some, and I can freaking rattle some off right now. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to bring any negativity to the greatest sport in the world, which is bodybuilding, in my opinion. Again, it's an opinion. Somebody was going to say football, which I would love as well. Somebody was going to say basketball. Someone was going to say golf. Someone was going to say tennis, right? MMA, UFC, right? Which is just one federation of cage fighting. There's multiple federations in cage fighting as well. But UFC is the best one. It's most popular. Okay? Great news with the XFL, right? Everybody thought that was going to the toilet. Well, guess what? The Rock, he pulled the Jesus move, he resurrected it. Okay, $15 million to take an underdog program like this flip it around, that's freaking phenomenal. There's so many people on the fence, right, that maybe have a chance of making a very decent living, maybe potentially being a millionaire someday, for being a great football player, but they didn't fucking get the shot. They didn't get the damn endorsements. They didn't get the draft. They didn't get drafted. Walked on, and time was up. Not quite good enough to make it to the NFL. But they're kind of a hair of an ass away. Maybe had a bad day or a couple of bad days, and then just don't even want to give them a walk-on drought anymore. So this XFL has an opportunity to be a stepping stone to something greater. And with The Rock involved, who knows, it can be, it might give the NFL a run for money someday. Now, there's a lot to say, and it's long ways from that. The thing I love about it is it'll eventually, once we get some heads on our shoulders, and we take this COVID virus and kick it in the ass, whether we get a vaccine for it, or we just get the intestinal fortitude to say, you know what, it's a risk every day to go to work, it's a risk every day to do this, to do that, to do the other thing, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to take the calculated risk that I'm going to work every day. That it's not my call, right? It's the government's call, so hopefully they make the right call on that. What the right call is, I don't know. Like I said, I would just open everything the fuck up, right? Once you're over 70 years old, you can die from a flu anyways. My grandpa's 102 years old. He didn't stop driving until he was in his 90s, right? You gotta stop it sometime, but he was driving very, very well in his 90s. And then to the point where he's had a little bit of blurry vision, a little hard time seeing line, and this and that. Still driving fine, but better safe than sorry. So he doesn't drive anymore. But, again, apology for throwing that accusation out there without proof. But, shit, the people in the politics themselves do that, so. Sorry about that, man. Started getting all choked up. I needed some water. So, back to normal again. It's been Showtime with Showtime Shred Fitness over here. Don't forget to eat your Wheaties. Take your Flintstone vitamins, all of the bullshit, okay? And again, don't get too butthurt over my my little insights. What insight do I got? I don't know nothing about politics, right? Me talking to you about politics and giving you political advice is like Congress getting into sports and medicine and making decisions on who can and cannot compete and all this other bullshit. And what can and cannot be banned, what works, what doesn't work, and they don't know nothing about nothing. But they act like they know everything with it, okay? It's freaking annoying. But, yep, we're going to go ahead and leave that one alone for right now. If you hear the word at all, okay? I went into a really big 15, 30-minute video before. Or maybe it was only 5 or 10 minutes. I don't fucking know. Maybe it was only 2 to 5 minutes. I don't remember. But what it did say is that the word, I'm going to call it now, because unfortunately after that video I didn't know if we need more follow-up, so it was taken out of context. So now I've got people who are great people, outstanding people that I freaking, maybe I've worked with them or for them, and in this profession where I've taken care of people who have adversity, and some have adversity even more so than the average person does, as far as maybe they're in a wheelchair, or maybe they may have had to take special classes, or maybe freaking, I don't fucking know, maybe they fucking hear voices, which is no big deal, right? I do, okay? They might freaking have to have a really, really strict, tight routine, okay? Very structured, very disciplined, but smarter than the average bear, but in certain things. Maybe they can be phenomenal at this with numbers, and they can freaking count forward and backwards, and you ask them, what's the square root of da-da-da-da? You give them this big-ass story problem that the average math whiz or expert might have to do all this paperwork. It might take him like 20, 30 minutes. He's got to show all his work and da-da-da-da, and he can go to the answer to this guy in freaking 2 seconds. What's the X, Y, Z, blah, 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 what does that equal? Oh, it equals 32. whatever, right? 5,372,452,002. You know, whatever the fucking math problem is, you can like whip it out. Okay, that part of the brain will be astronomical, but then something else, a little trigger in the frickin', and I can relate this. Frickin', they've got something scheduled, might not be written down in their day planner, or they might have it written down in the day planner, but it's right here, and it's in their memory, it's in their routine, and every day at this time they got to do that, or they'll freak the fuck out. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. I get the same fucking way, right? So sometimes a little more flexible than that, and sometimes not. It all depends. And there's various levels of this type of adversity. You know, they call it autism, and they call it Asperger's, whatever, right? And according to my family, I've got everything. I'm fucking schizophrenic, and I'm fucking autistic, and all these other things. It's not true, but even if it is, so what? You got a separate set of adversities. You got a separate set of challenges. Who fucking cares, right? That's not retarded, okay? What is retarded? That's the R word, right? And I'm getting a lot of shit for this lately, but here's why I fucking love this word, because it's a great definition for pedophiles, rapos, chimos, fucking people who are just dirty, bad, freaking people, man. And it just doesn't matter how much you tell somebody something, it's a certain way. So you blue in the face, this and that thing, and they freaking don't get it, right? You just gotta just flat out just disrespect and all these other things, not respecting your space, not respecting your routine, this, that, and that thing. You know, or people that can't meet, like fucking politicians, for example. You got a Republican with a great idea, but it's too over the top. It doesn't quite work. And then you got this Democrat with some phenomenal deals too, but it's too fucking socialistic. And bang, you meet in the middle, and that's called compromise. And that's what would make our planet bottom number one in the world, with no ands or buts about it, no controversy. But you got what I like to call retarded people, the R word, because they're smart enough, they just don't want to do it. And does it affect their pay? No, it does not. So regardless of what the issue is, they get to go home every day with the same pay, no dock and pay, whereas any other profession, you'd be fired or docked in pay, right? You can't just show up to work and not do anything. Okay, nothing. But obviously you can, and politics are doing it all the time now. That's why we can't fix our country. But if they were to do what they were designed to do, which is come to a compromise, right? Democrats, Republicans, they meet somewhere in the middle, man, unfucking stoppable once again, right? And we'd be like the fucking Roma. We talk about how we're like in a three-way tie. Sometimes we're first, sometimes second, sometimes third, then back to first and all shit. Different countries like Russia or China or fucking whatever. But not a dominant powerhouse, right? We can blow people over, 5 times over and things like that, but then they can do that to us like 10 or 3 or whatever. So you only got to get wiped out one time. Does that make sense? So it's like, it's not like Rome that was freaking dominating for 1,500 fucking years, right? That's a long victory streak. I want the United States to be that country. All right? So that's what I mean by the R word, right? People that deserve that title. I have worked with and for different people, these different types of adversities that they used to call the R word for. And I have not worked with one out of all the people I've worked with that they've had freaking schizophrenia or Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or fucking schizophrenia, Asperger's, Down syndrome, whatever the fuck, right? From off and on as a volunteer starting in 8th or 9th grade is when I started with all that stuff, helping out other people, whether it be just kids as athletes. Well, the kids part, I got it a little bit more once I got graduated in 92 is when I started working more with kids, but as a football coach, wrestling coach, personal trainer, caregiver, community access specialist, counselor. Okay, off the top of my head, I can't recall one client athlete or anybody in any of those programs, whether it be community access or freaking YAC or TCRS or freaking what else do you want to call it? Any of those, or just junior and high school athletes, and now civilian people that I train. Okay, I can't recall one of them being retarded. Not one. Okay, a lot of people actually who have been clients, whether they have those, whether they're considered 100% normal by society, or if they're a person who has been classified as having one or two or maybe even multiple adversities that they have to overcome. Okay, like I said, maybe they can't walk, or maybe they can't read and they're trying to learn how to read, or maybe sometimes I'm reading and writing, or maybe they're just their social skills are a little more difficult for them to get the hang of than others, right? I mean, we're all like that. Or maybe this person they absolutely have to have a routine. And if you're not down with that routine, you're not right for the job. That's not a retarded person, okay? None of those people are retarded, okay? So that's why if you hear the R bomb dropped in any of my videos or whatever, pay attention in context who I'm talking to, okay? I can guarantee you that none of them are with a cane or in a wheelchair or the bullshit, or maybe their way of speaking is a little slurred or stuttered or stammering or muffled or gruffled, whatever the fuck, right? People think I talk funny. Who fucking cares, right? As long as you can communicate, right? If you gotta do it through sign language, unfortunately that's not a language that I know, okay? I know Spanish and English. A lot of people think I know Italian. I don't know shit for Italian. Cabs are here. That's Taxi Liqui. And then, what else? I know some other little shit like Vino Puro, Acqua Fresca, Strecciadora. That's fresh water, red wine, beautiful women in Italian. Okay? Ciao, it's French for goodbye. Blah, blah, blah. Voulez-vous, au revoir, sexual, right? Let's go make beautiful music together. That's what that means in French. So you get different things, right? So different challenges, different adversities, different skill sets, different mindsets, different ideas on what to do for fun. So it's a long ass video, but I want to get that off my chest. And I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I just want to get the country running good and everybody be taken care of in the process. I don't mind breaks and quarantine, all that stuff, but you gotta remember money doesn't grow on trees. And the success rate of survival rate is 98% chance of survival. So a lot of other things that can be a spin-off that could go really, really bad. Something will happen and your survival rate might not be 98%. Okay, sound fair enough? All right, it's been showtime. Showtime Fence over here. Size. Growth. Get big. All right.